What is up, Skate Rats? So I am back for my trip. Now I planned on doing like a vloggy type style where I would film me and Jake up, whether we were sitting around a campfire or stuff like that. But the first thing I quickly realized was I kind of couldn't do that because I post videos every single day. A lot of my YouTube stuff gets scheduled in advance, but my Instagram stuff that gets posted day to day. And the service was spotty. So like the first day we're there, I did have to post a YouTube video and that took about 7 hours. So really couldn't use my phone in that time. Otherwise I was using it for filming and things like that. So I figure I'm just going to add in a little bit of commentary here and we're going to split it up day to day. So starting off really quickly, the first day we got completely rained out and we were prepared for this. So we drove about an hour north to the Syracuse area and we went and skated an indoor skate park called Black Mamba. Now the feel of the skate park is really cool. So it's a skate park, it's a roller rink, it's a vinyl record shop, there's pool tables, it's a skate shop, like everything you could want to have that like kind of like vintage cool feeling, it is. And the owners were super cool. They gave us a discount because they found out that we drove like a far distance to go skate there. And really, really rad owners. But let's talk about the negatives, which isn't necessarily anybody's fault. One of them is, but when we got there, we were told like, hey, no problem, you guys go session in the park, you can, skate here all day. But we need to let you know there's 2 children's birthday parties going on at the same exact time. So just be aware of that. Now, as a father and as a skater who's skated a lot of parks and dealt with a lot of young kids and scooters and stuff like that, I've been frustrated before at them, but I've never gotten angry at them until you're trapped into a fairly-ish small warehouse with like 30, 40 screaming kids all trying to be the next Ninja Warrior, and that it's a lot of noise going on, I'm going to say that. So that's obviously not necessarily anybody's fault. The other thing is the roller rink plays music, and it's like a half wall that divides the 2 areas. The music was ungodly loud, and I'm deaf in my right ear. And on the complete opposite side, it was still concert level loud. So I can't imagine how loud it is in the roller rink. But that was something else that we kind of had to deal with. So to add to that, I messed up kind of quickly. And that almost ruined the entire weekend for me. Thankfully it didn't, but it sucked. Which is, there was a large mini ramp there. And I knew that that might be one of the only places where I could be with like Jacob or other skaters and skate and not be around the entire screaming birthday parties. So I immediately dropped in. I took a quick run. I did some scratches, a couple rock to fakies, a couple tail stalls, kind of just getting used to the ramp a little bit. I popped out of my first run and I turned to Jacob and I said, hey man, something feels a little weird about this ramp. The ramp itself feels good, but there's something there that I'm not sure about. And there's so much screaming going on that I just put it out of my mind completely. So I drop in and I do a second run, and now I'm actually, instead of just scratching, doing full grinds, I'm doing board slides, kind of really getting used to that ramp, and I do a fakie pop rock. And I end up hanging up, and I mean I hang up as hard as you can hang up. And when I fall, I do what I've done 1,000 times before. I kick my legs out behind me to kick off of the transition so I can, change my force from going vertical to horizontal, and I kick nothing. I literally end up just flailing to flat. And it was like a 5 foot, 5.5 foot, something like that, mini ramp. So around the height of a 10 stair, we'll say. And I ended up falling directly on my knee. Like that was the first thing to hit the ground, which sucked. I ended up with a lump on the side of my leg, nearly the same size as my kneecap, and it kept me from being able to pop high for the rest of the weekend, but I was able to do things like ollies and stuff like that, but it definitely really sucked. So in future, I am really going to start paying attention to how coping is set, because my coping sticks up a lot on my ramp, and that's around a 1/2 inch that sticks up. This one was more 3/4, maybe 7/8 of an inch, which is a lot. So I definitely didn't do any more fakie pop rocks on that specific ramp because, of course, you can do it. It's just a high risk, low reward type trick on a ramp, kind of like that. But that happened like immediately, and that kind of dictated what I did for the rest of the day. So I didn't really go super hard. And on top of that, even when the birthday party started to clear out a little bit, There was about 6 or 7 kids still left. They got into the habit of doing something, and this is where frustration really set in for me, which is I would be cruising and setting up for a trick. I'm bending down, I'm looking forward, I'm looking at the obstacle, and these kids would ride up at high speed behind me and then slow down to match my speed, so they're very close, and then not actually say anything to me, just shriek as loud as they can to see me either fall or kind of like spaz out for a second. And they got into the habit of doing that consistently, and it got to a point where I had to go sit outside for a little bit. But this is day 1 session, and I promise the rest of the commentary is not going to be as long-winded as this. I just kind of wanted to share that a little bit. Day 2, when I woke up, I immediately got out of my bed and I bent my knee. And I found out that I could bend to a certain extent, but once I got past there, I was in quite a bit of pain. So I knew I was able to snap ollies and stuff like that, but things like kick flips I wanted to avoid. So we started warming up at Jacob's childhood local park, and he was so excited to bring me there, but there wasn't a whole ton I could do. I really wanted to save what little bit of energy against the pain I had for video part clips. So I filmed very briefly there, and then I filmed him for a little while there. And I felt bad, and I told him that I will bring him back there, because Jacob doesn't drive, so I do all the driving, that I will bring him back there and we'll have a full session. But my leg wasn't able to withstand all the gnarly transition and stuff like that. Because I couldn't bail out to my left leg whatsoever. I could only bail out to my right leg, which sometimes gets tricky on transition. Anyway, from there we went street skating, and I did film 2 clips for my video part, but for you guys, I only got, I think, 3 total, and 2 of them are wall ride things. But when you see a wall ride, you just want to do it, so check these ones out. So by day 3, the swelling had gone down at my knee, and I was able to bend it more. The pain was still there, but it was kind of like a decision where it's like, I know my legs are toasted, my muscles are sore, my knee hurts. So I'm going to go hard and then take some time off. which I did. I ended up going really hard and then taking the next 3 days off of skating, which to some people might not sound like a lot, but to me, that's a long time. Anyway, we ended up going to a place called Owego, and I filmed there before where I did like the board slides around the bowl hip and stuff like that. But once again, my legs still hurt, so there was still only a certain level of stuff I was willing to do. But I did end up doing more than I expected, and I actually ended up snapping my board, which I haven't like broken a board normally in a long time. So that board actually only lasted me 3 days, but I guess it was 3 days of pretty hard skating. But check out those clips now. All in all, it was a good weekend. My knee has healed, thankfully, and I've actually just gone out street skating yesterday. But I hope you guys did enjoy this video. I do hope to do this at least once a year with Jacob. I'm not sure where we're going next. Maybe DC. I have no idea. But I hope you guys did enjoy this. And as always, thank you for liking, commenting, and subscribing. Have a great day and keep pushing forward.